The next morning, Jonathan Kent wakes up with a smile on his face. Another night, another pleasant dream. Up, up, and away, he mumbles. He sits up in his bed and with a yawn, leans over to wake up his best friend, Damian Wayne. Morning, Damian. Rise and shine. The boy wonder groans, folding his pillow around his ears to try to block out both John and the sun. I know you and Mr. Wayne are night owls, but around here, the early bird gets the worm, Robin. Clever. You think of that all by yourself? The boys race downstairs, only to find Batman hasn't returned. As Damian puts it, his father isn't exactly one to leave a note, but he's usually back by dawn. This concerns Clark. He tells the boys to put on their suits, but then there's a knock at the door. John runs over to the front of the house and gasps, "The neighbors! Quick, Damian, you need a code name!" Absolutely not, Damian stomps. You're Garth. What? No! But John is already swinging open the door. He greets his friend Kathy and her grandfather, Mr. Cobbs. They are just there with their customary delivery of milk. Mr. Cobbs hands over the crate of milk to Lois, saying, "If Garth is a good boy, next time I'll bring him some of Bessie's milk too." Damian folds his arms in disapproval. I have my own cow. The two Cobbs prepare to leave. Before they do, Kathy tells John to meet her by the big tree later when he's free to play. He can even bring Garth. Clark takes this time to speak with Mr. Cobbs in private. He asks Mr. Cobbs if he has seen anything unusual recently, hoping for some indication to Batman's location. But Mr. Cobbs answers no, not since Superman fought Frankenstein in his pasture. Anyways, he says to the children, keep your eyes open, John. A lot of bad guys out there, you know? And good to have your dog around to keep an eye on things. We can't count on Superman to keep our little ones safe all the time. Right, Mr. Kent? Clark raises an eyebrow, but doesn't press the subject. The Kents and Damian return inside, and Mr. Cobbs walks back to the car. On his way, he sees Crypto and gives him a gentle pat. The dog's eyes glow bright as it's put into a trance. Good boy, Mr. Cobbs tells him. We always keep an eye on John, don't we? Elsewhere, in a dark lab, deep within the sea, a man slowly takes a drag of a cigarette as he watches all of the events of the previous night unfold. So, errands with your dad, Is it a bat hunt, Prince John? Can't say I fancy that. Troublemakers, meddlers. He exhales a cloud of smoke through gritted teeth and then looks out to the open ocean. What greets him is some sort of nebulous creature of the deep. Its many tentacles dance around in the water as it approaches the lab. It clings onto the glass and opens its single eye in the center of its mouth. It fixates its vision on the man clouded by smog. We're gonna need a distraction, he tells the beast. In the sky, Superman soars above Hamilton County with Superboy and Robin in tow. He uses his super abilities to find some sort of clue as to where Batman may have disappeared to. Hold steady, Superman, Damian says as he grips onto the crimson cape to keep his balance. I'll do my best. Locator isn't picking up Batman anywhere in the vicinity. No responses to comms, no visual either. This isn't normal, even for him. John, focus your ears and scan heartbeats like we practiced. John tries to listen to his father, but he can't hear anything out of the ordinary. Just normal townspeople preparing for the upcoming fair. Doc Brooks, Mr. Martinez, Mrs. Candace, Officer Haggard, the usual people that John is acquainted with. Suddenly, the giant squid attacks. It bursts out the river and climbs onto the pier. Its massive tentacles start grabbing onto trucks, buildings, and tents. It crushes everything within its grasp. Did you see that? Superboy points. Looks like the same squid we turned loose in the Arctic, says Superman as he raises an eyebrow. It's coming ashore. I'll contain it to the parking lot and push it back. Superman drops Robin and Superboy off on the Ferris wheel. Robin is irritated. You're going without us. What are we supposed to do? Hold steady, Robin. This is a job for Superman. Superman launches forward and tackles the creature in an attempt to push it back out to the water. So, this is pest control in the sticks, Robin mumbles. Not really, Superboy answers. I seem to recall hearing about a psychedelic moose, woodland creatures with glowing eyes, a cow barfing milk. That was Dead Man's Swamp. Me and Kathy snuck out there to investigate. At that moment, a tentacle comes crashing down. It just barely misses the two children. Luckily, Robin is able to shoot off a grappling hook in time to swing away. The creature continues to flail about as it tries to grab onto anything to stop it from being pushed back into the water. Superman looks the creature in its eye and tells it, "We already threw you back once, and I don't want to hurt you, but if you don't let go, you leave me no choice." Superman punches the creature in the eye, and it answers by dousing him with ink. The ink covers Superman and sends him flying to the ground. Then, it starts to bubble. Superman looks around as humanoid creatures begin to sprout up through the blackened tar. One of them holds a cigarette. Who? Superman asks as the viscous beings try to overtake him. Both Superboy and Robin leap into action. Hands off the Super Dad! Robin lands a flying kick on one of the creatures. Portions of its body splashes onto the ground, and from it, even more creatures grow. I told you boys to stay. I can handle this, Superman says as he begins to fight off the opponents. You claim the cephalopod, Robin answers. We can handle the ink men, Superboy agrees as he uses his ice breath to freeze the enemies in place before Robin shatters them with his batarangs. The squid attacks again. Its giant tentacle slams down. Superman is able to speed the children off to a safe distance, but the ink men are splattered under the weight. Superman then leaves the children to escort all the civilians to safety. But it seems like the civilians have their own priorities. Mrs. Candace is busy recording everything with her phone. With any luck, her story will make the front page of the Hamilton Horn. And Superboy will be the headline. Officer Haggard unloads his pistol and asks Superboy for assistance. In fact, he deputizes Superboy to use lethal force on the creature, even if it's against his father's better wishes. This has gone on for long enough. Superman lifts up the Ferris wheel and throws it on top of the creature, pinning it down in the water. That ought to hold you until I can contact Aquaman. The crowd watching begins to cheer. Superman warns them, "Please, stay back, folks. Give the authorities room to do their work." This doesn't garner much support from the onlookers. They can all see that the creature is still moving. It's still alive. Shouldn't someone put it down? "We're not exterminators," Superman says. "And I don't think it's a threat to anyone at the moment. So if you'll please..." "Look out!" Superboy shouts as one of the creature's tentacles whips out of the water and slaps back the people in the crowd. Superboy's eyes light up in anger. "No! Leave them alone!" he bellows as he tears apart the creature with his heat vision. The creature hisses and screeches in pain as its skin catches on fire and begins to melt off its very bones. "Son, stop!" Superman pleads. John comes to his senses and runs down to help the civilians. Superman also offers his help, but all of the people in the crowd, it seems, are now apprehensive. They thank Superman for his help, but they can take it from here. Thankful, at least, that Superboy decided to step up and do what he should have. Later, the three heroes stand on a hill overlooking the town. "Do you think they're right, Dad?" They're scared. What if Batman was right? The world isn't like Hamilton anymore. Maybe it's time to think about handling things different. "Listen, son. One day, you're going to have to choose what to do with your own fear. Whatever you choose, right or wrong, it's going to change people's lives. It's going to change the world. And it's going to change you." Damian rolls his eyes. "Riveting. Now, if you don't mind, my father, I suggest we go to that swamp you and Blondie snuck out to before." Clark turns to his son with a disapproving glare. "Dead Man's Swamp?" "We weren't there for long. There's this abandoned house and swamp gas. Mr. Cobbs found us and we were just..." Superman cuts him off. Cobbs never mentioned it. And I don't like that disobeying my clear instructions is becoming a pattern, young man. Maybe Batman was right to take a look at him. Head home and wait for me with your mother, and I'll find Batman alone. Clark flies off and leaves the two boys by themselves. On their way home, they stop by the tree both John and Kathy frequent. "Didn't think that was possible." "What?" "Opie gets grounded." "I can't fly. I'm always grounded, Damian." "Then let's drive and look for Batman ourselves. I de-encrypted the Batmobile code key. It's cloaked nearby." "Stop it." "Stop what?" "Getting me into trouble." "Okay. Now that we've established I'm a bad influence, let's go." "I said no!" Again, John's eyes glow red with anger. He extends his arm and pushes Damian to the ground. Damian jumps back up and tackles John, and the two begin to fight. Then, Kathy arrives. With her hands in her pockets, she calmly instructs John. "Get off, Garth." "What? You talking to me, Blondie?" Damian spits as he continues to punch John. "I was warning you," Kathy responds. Suddenly, Damian begins to bleed from his nose and his eyes. Blood drips out the corners of his mouth. Damian struggles to breathe, and the next thing he knows, he's being psychically lifted into the air. She then ceases her assault and drops the boy Wonder. Damian falls onto John and, In reaction, John's heat vision goes off, shooting directly at Kathy. She negates the twin beams, simply diverting the energy around her until they collide with the tree behind her. In an instant, the bark begins to burn, and the tree is ignited in flames. Kathy smiles. "Oh, John, you're so scared. It's going to be okay. But please, you have to calm down." She forces the energy back into his eyes. "Or he won't let you use these powers either." John's anxiety skyrockets. Between gasps of air, he asks, What happened? My heat vision just shut off?" Kathy chuckles. "How can we protect you when you can't protect yourself? Don't worry. He'll keep us safe until you're ready. You're special, John. More than you know. No one will hurt you. Ever. I promise."